Folks, Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Saturday edition of the Hooligans. Took off last week. We're back, baby. This episode of the Hooligans is brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 301 Oxford Valley Road, Yardley, Pennsylvania, 215-369-3300. Our public accountants, make them yours. And we're back. First 5 minutes of the show, Ralphie has some shit to do, so I'll be talking about Desean Jackson coming back to the Birds, Bryce Harper getting hit in the foot, giving a panic scare to everyone in the city of Philadelphia, besides me. And, yeah, Desean Jackson's back, and I could not be happier. You know, you had the news of Nick Foles going down to Jacksonville, starting turning his life around, you know. Well, starting a new life, and going down there 4 years, $88 million. You know, he deserves every single penny. And they have themselves a stud, and I expect them to be in the playoffs next year. So good luck to Nick Foles, and I hope, if he's not playing us, I hope he wins a Super Bowl down there because, you know, he brought this franchise what they really deserved, and, you know, I couldn't be happier for a guy. So, yeah, thank you, Nick Foles, for everything, but, you know, I got to send you on your way. With that being said, Desean Jackson is back, and I couldn't be happier. You know, this guy is one of my favorite Eagles of all time. You know, he brought the swagger, he brought the assholeness, the douchebagness to Philly, and you know that's what Philly is. You know, tough, gritty town. He was a tough guy. He'd play mind games with people, and this is a guy that actually fits what we need. We need that burner for Carson Wentz because Carson Wentz, you know, this is a guy, in my opinion, at this point of his career, where you need to put talent around him because last year he was kind of subpar. I don't care what anybody says. Carson Wentz was subpar last year. You could look at the stats all you want, but Carson did not play with the same kind of swagger or style that he had in 2017. And I believe if you put enough talent around this guy, he will perform like he did in 2017. But you got to put the right pieces around him. Right now, we are very thin at running back, and we're very thin on the defensive side linebacking position. Now, you got to we've never had solid linebackers, all right? We've had Jordan Hicks last year, but he's injury-prone. Nigel Bradham's good, but other than that, we never had a quality linebacking core. Like, we never have. We've always had a quality defensive line. We have so many defensive linemen right now. Like, I don't know if I could count them off my hand. Like, you know, we just got rid of Michael Bennett, and we added, what's his face? Malik Richardson. So, I don't know, Malik Jackson from Jacksonville Jaguars. He's a stud, you know, but I don't know if he could replace a Jernigan, a Michael Bennett. Like, he's good, but at the same time, I felt like those players were a little bit better. So we'll see where it goes from there, but I don't know. We'll see. Over here on YouTube, we see Chris Garland, Cowboys fan. From a Cowboys fan, he says, from a Cowboys fan, the Eagles definitely look like division favorites, and it's not close. Eagles upgraded. Now, I will say this right here, right now. I'm going to talk about the New York Giants for a little bit because everyone says that them losing Odell Beckham Jr. will set them back for a long time. And listen, as a Giants hater, I hate the Giants with a passion. They completely changed their team around, in my opinion, for the better. Now, do I think that they got back a decent return for Odell Beckham? Not really. They got a first, a third, and Jabril Peppers. I feel like they could have gotten more for Odell Beckham, but at the same time, the Giants have always been a team that pounded the ball. They've always been a defensive team, and they've always played like a team. They never had that one superstar that took over a city, had that spotlight. And I feel like them trading away Odell Beckham Jr. will actually make them better for the long run. And it sucks for me to say that because I kind of enjoyed the New York Giants sucking. Like, it's been fun, but David Gettleman knows what he's doing over there. Now, they could have gotten a lot more, and they got fleeced. They did get fleeced because they could have got at least 2 first-rounders or a first, second, and 2 seconds. But I think they settled because they just wanted to get rid of the headache. And you know what? If they're doing that for the better of the team, I guess it's a business, and they think they're doing right. So whatever. Chris Garland says they got Golden Tate as well, but they're worse now. Are they worse, though? Golden Tate is one of the best wide receivers after the catch. All right, so he never drops the ball, and whenever he catches it, he gets a first down almost immediately. You know, he's one of the more beneficial wide receivers in the league. I wanted to keep him on the Philadelphia Eagles personally, but at the same time, you can't pay this guy $13 to $14 million because we had other needs. So we kept Nelson Aguilar. We have Alshon Jeffrey, obviously. We brought in Desean Jackson. Desean Jackson's making, I think, this year $9 to $10 million. I'm not sure. I would have to look that up, obviously. But Desean Jackson, I feel like, you know, I'm not going to say we upgraded, but bringing back Desean Jackson definitely helps. And I'm so happy that Desean Jackson's back. I really am, because this guy, like I said before, you know, he is he's Philadelphia. You know, that's who he is. He's happy to be back. I'm happy to have him. And, you know, we'll see what happens. J. Michael Tucci over on Facebook says, this is super exciting. And hi, guys. What's up, J. Michael Tucci? Yeah, it's very exciting. You know, it's exciting to have Desean Jackson back here, the swagger, you know, the Philly brand. I love it. I really do. And, you know, we need to upgrade badly at the running back position, all right? Everyone says that we should have went after Le'Veon Bell, and I agree with that. But at the same time, we weren't going to pay him what he wanted. We just weren't. And, you know, in my honest opinion, what I would do at the running back position is I would bring back Jay Ajayi, and I would add Benny Snell in the draft from Kentucky, the running back from Kentucky. You know, he has that Brandon Jacobs type of style where you run down field and you're like a bulldozer. You know, he doesn't have that cutting style. He's kind of slowish, but at the same time, I feel like this guy could get you the yards you need. He's more like a LeGarrette Blount type player. And I'd go Jay Ajayi as your feature back, and I'd go Benny Snell from Kentucky as your running back by committee. And everyone wanted Tevin Coleman, all right? And I would be the first one to say I hate Tevin Coleman. I really do. I'm so glad we didn't get him, because I play this game called DraftKings. I know you're like, you shouldn't put gambling into the sport, whatever. Well, it kind of makes a difference, because when you're playing on DraftKings and you put the players in your lineup, you expect them to produce. Tevin Coleman, when he took place of Devontae Freeman, did absolute nothing. He was shit. All right, and everyone said Tevin Coleman, oh, you look at his yards after catch, he could catch the ball, he can run down the field, he's averaging 4.8 yards per run. I'm like, I don't care, all right? We're looking for a feature back, and you guys were expecting Tevin Coleman to be a feature back, which he's not. He's a running back by committee. We need a feature back. This is exactly why I would bring back Jay Ajayi, because I think, well, number one, he's a Pro Bowler, and number two, he's a winner. He won the Super Bowl already with us, and why not just bring him back on the cheap and then draft your running back by committee guy? You know, you could be settled there. I don't know. I have a different opinion than everyone else most of the time. I just do. But, you know, it is what it is. So, Ralphie, what's up? How you doing?
What's up, man? How's everything?
Oh, it's good. You know,
Good.
I took a week off. I'm back. It's St. Patty's Day weekend, you know.
Yeah.
I was good last night. I didn't go out for a drink. I knew I had a show, and I had to perform. So, yeah.
Yeah, so my whole thing on Desean is that, you know, it's great to have him back. Welcome back, Desean. But, I mean, he's 32 years old. You know what I mean? He's 32 years old, and he had a little injury problem down there in Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Could have been the warm weather. We don't know. It could have been something else, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But, no, but the whole Desean Jackson thing, I think we talked about it a little bit on Wednesday, but for me, the Desean Jackson factor is that it's going to open up the field a little bit more.
Yep.
And I think, to me, the whole trial with Torrey Smith kind of worked, but Torrey Smith didn't have the burners like Desean Jackson has. And Carson tweeted out when we signed him, you know, I'll just stand here and throw the ball as far as I can, and just go and get it. And that's how Desean Jackson's been his whole career.
He still runs at least a 4.5.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And you know, to get him on the cheap side as well, you didn't have to give up anything. So basically, you just took the 7th round pick that you got from the Patriots and you turned it into Desean Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you did.
And you brought back someone that fits here, that loves it here. And,
yeah.
You know, he obviously didn't want to leave, but Chip Kelly obviously traded him away. But, yeah, I am very happy to have Desean Jackson back. You know, he's one of my favorite players of all time, Eagles-wise. I still don't know why that Tom Brady jersey's on the wall. I have no clue why that's on the wall. I think you should put Desean Jackson jersey up there because I love D-Jax. So I'm happy he's back. And, yeah, let's go Birds.
Yeah. So far this offseason with, you know, Tevin Coleman going to the 49ers and all the other running backs coming off the board, like a Mark Ingram going to the Ravens.
Right.
Do you see us grabbing a running back in free agency via trade,
No,
or
no.
do you see us just going right to the draft?
No, and I hope we don't. Everyone wants Jordan Howard. I don't. I didn't want Tevin Coleman. I just brought that up. I didn't want him at all. I want to go through the draft. I want to get Benny Snell, and I want to bring back J.J.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot of people aren't with the J.J. thing because he doesn't have the greatest knees. But at the same time, if you bring him back for cheap, I still think he has juice left.
Uh-huh.
I really do. As long as he stays on the field, I don't know, 10 games out of 16, I'd bring him back, on the cheap. So
Yeah.
I understand people's opinions on that, but I don't know. I just think it's the smartest thing to do for this team, and yeah, you know what? Whatever.
Yeah. I
Exactly.
mean, to be honest, I love Benny Snell. You know I'm a Benny Snell guy.
Oh, I know
So,
you do. Yeah.
so to have Benny Snell in Eagles uniform would be, my dream come true.
Yeah.
I think he's a good back. I don't care what anybody else says out there. I'm gonna have my opinion. I'm gonna stick to my opinion. But to lose a guy in Tevin Coleman that could have helped this team out. I mean, dude, he got 5 years. He got $5 million for 2 years. So it came out to be 10.
I think he stinks.
And the thing is that Howie kind of got my hopes up, right, for going, clearing all this space, because now it's like, oh shit, Le'Veon might be in a play, and then you don't see him not even make a move for Le'Veon as well.
I was shocked with the money that Le'Veon got.
Yeah, it was really cheap. It was on the cheap side.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it wasn't really. I thought he was going to get more, almost like a Todd Gurley contract, but $52 million for only 4 years, so he'll be 30 years old when that contract's up. I mean, that's a good contract for him and for the Jets as well.
Right. Now, let me ask you your opinion on this, because I brought it up before you came on. What do you feel about the Giants' situation with Odell Beckham Jr. going away? Do you think it actually makes them better or hurts them?
I think it's a little 50-50, and here's the reason why. Like we were talking pre-show, the whole head case situation with him, and the whole fucking the field goal, the kicking net, that whole situation for 3 weeks, and him screaming on the sideline, and it just, I think it was time for them to move on. It just got to the point where it was almost like the Antonio Brown situation, where they could put up with it for so many years because he was producing on the field. He was making the plays for them. They were winning games with him. And then these last 2 years, he just got out of hand to the point where, I can't do anything.
Right.
There's nothing I can't put up with it anymore. It's time to move on. Does it make them a better football team? To me, no. No. Because you lost a superstar.
Oh, he's a phenomenal.
You lost a superstar.
Yeah.
Granted, you got Golden Tate, but that's a slot guy.
But
it's a slot guy,
Golden
though.
Tate is very good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
He's extremely good.
And that's they call him the Yak King for a reason, right?
Yeah.
The yards after the catch. He's the reason. He's the reason why they call him the King for that.
So they didn't replace him with a nobody, though. They put talent on the roster by adding Golden Tate, the yards after catch guy.
Yep.
But losing Odell Beckham Jr., it hurts. But at the same time, you're bringing back Eli as your quarterback. So what does it even matter?
Yeah, and that's the point. It doesn't even change.
Yeah.
You still have bum ass Eli throwing the ball.
Yeah.
You don't have see, and here's the thing though. I think the Giants are stockpiling these draft picks to get one guy only, and if they look past Kyler Murray and they look past Dwayne Haskins,
They want Tua.
That, and I also think they can also make a play for Josh Rosen, because here's the thing. The writing might be on the wall already with Cliff Kingsbury and that whole dumpster fire of Arizona out there with the whole I'm in love with Kyler Murray. Listen, the dude's 5'8".
Yeah.
Your linemen are 6'7", 6'6".
Right.
Okay. Baker had a tough time this year when looking over the line because how limited his height was. Granted, he's 6'1".
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll give Kyler 2 more feet. I'll give him 5'10".
Yeah.
But it still doesn't make the difference though.
Yeah, I mean, Kyler. See, the thing with Kyler Murray is he's going number 1 overall.
Yeah, and that's the thing though.
Yeah.
But if now you have Kyler Murray and Josh Rosen,
They're going to trade him.
Yeah, but and that's why I think the Giants come into play, because now you can give up 2 first-round picks or maybe maybe the pick that you just got from Cleveland, and 2 thirds or 2 seconds, and get your quarterback for the future in Josh Rosen.
Well, the thing is, number 1, you're not going to like this, but Josh Rosen stinks. He is a very bad quarterback, and I don't think he's going to get any better. He's immature, number 1. Number 2, he was put in a bad situation right off the start. Arizona's not a good franchise at all. They're They're going deep, and I feel really bad for Larry Fitzgerald. I really do, because honestly, he's one of my favorite players of all time, and he always hurt us.
Yeah,
you
he
know?
did, and it just sucks because now it's like he's wasting his career over there.
He is. He's loyal, and
Yeah.
that's one thing you can't find in the NFL anymore. These loyal players. Like, that's why I'm happy Desean Jackson's back, because he never wanted to leave the Eagles. And he wanted to come back here because he loved it so much. I think that the Giants are saving for next year to try to get Lawrence or Tua. And, that would really hurt because either Tua or Lawrence, they're generational talents, so it would really hurt. At the same time, I don't know. It's just it's a tough situation over there in New York. It really is.
Yeah.
But I'm happy.
Yeah, it's happy to see him start crumbling. Crumble, Giants crumble. If you really want to go that route. But yeah, the whole thing with Odell, I think it was almost like the Antonio Brown situation. Like you could put up with it for years because he was giving you the production that you needed, and then it got to the point where, like, listen, bro, like, when are you gonna mature?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the whole screaming on the sidelines and throwing shit and everything else like that, man. It's just going to get to a point where we're going to get sick and tired of you, and they did. And for Gettle, and the funny thing is that Gettleman, during the combine is saying, we didn't sign Odell to trade him.
Yeah.
And
well, he has to say that. GMs, what they're paid to do is lie.
Yeah.
They have to. It's like Dana White in the UFC. He lies all the time. It's trying to save face of your franchise.
Yeah, and I totally agree that you go that route, right?
Yeah, you have to lie.
I mean, you're not going to come out and say, yeah, we're going to trade Odell.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. You're not going to say that.
Yeah, he's toast. He's gone. Yeah.
But the thing is that the Giants did what they had to do, and they moved on, and the Giants are going to be another 3-13 team. So
I have them winning 6 games this year. I don't have them that bad. I think, like I said before, I think it actually makes them better. For some way, I think it makes them better because Odell Beckham Jr. You're eyeing on him, and now you have Ingram, you have Golden Tate, you have Saquon Barkley. You upgraded your line a little bit. Their defense sucks, but at the same time, I don't see them losing more than 10 games.
Really?
Yeah, I could see them winning 6 games at least.
Yeah, I got them at a 5-6 range, and the only reason why I have them at 5-6 is because of the quarterback situation. You still have Eli.
Right.
Like, you're gonna make a move for a quarterback. You have to go. If I'm a Giants fan, I go quarterback. If I'm the Giants in general, I go quarterback.
Would you take Haskins? Like,
I would. I think he's the best quarterback, and I don't care about what happened with Kyler Murray, how fast he is. I think Dwayne Haskins is the quarterback to select.
I mean, the thing is, Dwayne Haskins, I only saw him play a couple times. He's more of a pocket passer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's more of a pocket passer. That's good for them. But I don't know. I would, if I were a Giants fan, I would wait until next year to draft a quarterback because they're studs.
Or you could just wait 2 more years and just tank for 2 years and get Trevor Lawrence. But here's the thing, though, with the NFL is that the thing that I like about the NFL and that it's different from the NBA draft is that they don't do the whole draft lottery. It's whatever team has the worst record gets the first pick.
Yeah.
So look at the Browns, right? They selected Baker and made them a better team. They had the 17th pick this year, and that's why the NFL is always competitive in that, right? You don't see a lot of teams tanking until week 14, week 16, is because it doesn't matter about the percentages of what pick you'll get. Whatever team has the worst record gets the first pick, and I like that way. I like it. I think it's fair because it takes tanking out.
Yeah, it does. Like, who has number 1 pick? Obviously goes to Arizona. Number 2, Oakland, right?
I think so. I'll look that up real quick.
I think it was either Oakland or someone with a 2-3 record, something like that. It wasn't. I don't think any team. Yeah, no team went 0-16 this year or 1-15. So it's Arizona number 1. They're going to trade Josh Rosen. They're going to bring in Kyler Murray because the coach. Kingsbury loves Kyler Murray.
Yeah, so this is the top 5. 1 is Arizona, 2 is 49ers, 3 is the Jets, 4 is the Raiders, 5 is the Bucks.
And the Raiders have like 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, and the Giants pick at 6.
Everyone picked on John Gruden for doing that last year, and he looks like a genius now.
Looks like a genius, flat-out genius. Yeah. And you know what? I'd be completely honest, but this kind of takes my theory out. I thought, with them, if they didn't get Antonio Brown right, I think I think Derek Carr is gone. I think he's gone. I think he's out of Oakland. But since they got Antonio Brown, it looks like the chemistry with Antonio Brown and Derek Carr is there. So I think Derek Carr's job is safe, at least for now. But if they didn't get Antonio Brown, in my honest opinion, I think Kyler Murray's out. I mean, I think Kyler Murray is going to be the quarterback of Oakland.
See, everyone needs to take some time and patience when it comes to Derek Carr. Derek Carr, in my opinion, is a good quarterback. He needs a good offensive line. He has Antonio Brown now. He's going to get a lot of studs in the draft. You have to give this guy some time. He played at Fresno State. I remember watching him at Fresno State. This guy's a winner, you know, and you always want a winner on your football team. It's not his fault that he has 2 to 3 seconds to throw the ball every single snap. You know, you need to fix up that offensive line. You need to give him some talent. Derek Carr is a good QB. He is, you know, and I would pick him in fantasy if he had a good offensive line, honestly. And I actually like what Mike said on the show on Wednesday. He said that Sam Darnold is a good fantasy quarterback this year because of the upgrades they got. So, yeah, he could be. He very well could be. He could be a late round steal. I did like that, what Mike said on Wednesday. But, you know, when it comes to free agency, who do you think is the one team that won in free agency?
The one team that won. In my honest, if you really want me to be in my honest opinion, I'm gonna say the Baltimore Ravens won.
Really?
Yeah, and I think the way they went, they were on the Le'Veon Bell sweepstake, but I guess they said, you know what, we'll just go out and get Mark Ingram, almost the same. Instead of catching the balls out of the backfield, Mark can just pound it, and they love to run the ball now. They have Lamar Jackson as their quarterback.
Yep.
And you lost, and the thing is, you lost Eric Weddle. Mm-hmm. You replaced him with Earl Thomas. So that's an upgrade already.
Yeah.
So in my honest opinion, I think the Baltimore Ravens won free agency in my opinion with those two acquisitions. Now, did the Jets? See, the only thing about the Jets is that if they added Anthony Barr and Le'Veon Bell, that's my winner right there. That's two solid players.
I don't think they could though. They got C.J. Mosley. And they got Le'Veon Bell. I don't think they could have added Barr because with Barr staying there, I think it would have made it difficult for Le'Veon Bell to sign there because they didn't have the cash in the cap. So I think honestly, I think the Jets won free agency. They have C.J. Mosley. They have a stud at QB. I don't care what anyone says. They have a stud in Sam Darnold at QB. They have Le'Veon Bell now, probably a top 3 back when he's in shape. He's gonna have to take time to get in shape. They have some studs. Well, they don't have any studs, but they have competitive wide receivers, tight ends. I don't really know their names, honestly. I mean, I don't really pay attention to the Jets.
For the Jets?
Yeah.
Well, I think they released Robbie Anderson, so he's gone.
Yeah.
Robbie Anderson,
he was good. He was really good.
They also have Quincy Enunwa that's there.
Yeah.
And I think, if I might be wrong, but I think Jamison Crowder went there, but I might be wrong.
Jamison Crowder went to the Jets?
I might be wrong. I'm going to look that up real quick.
Yeah, he's decent. He's not bad at all. And what the Jets need, like they can't be any worse than they were the last five years.
So Crowder went to the Jets.
Okay.
Jamison Crowder went to the Jets.
They're making some moves.
Yeah.
And they have like I said, they have a very good QB in Sam Darnold. So I thought Sam Darnold was the best QB in that draft last year.
Sam Darnold?
Yeah, I really do.
You already know where I stand on that, but
you don't like him. You don't like him, right?
It is what it is, but I think where at the end of the careers, I think Baker's going to have a great career.
Yeah,
I really do. And what Baker's done for Cleveland, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or right, but he's changed that organization 100%.
Yeah, I mean
the whole attitude, I should say.
Yeah, he's good, but at the same time, everyone forgets about their defense. Their defense is nasty. Now, granted, they just got rid of Jabril Peppers, but. Their defense, they have a good linebacking core. They have Myles Garrett. They have a ton of studs on defense.
Yeah.
And everyone seems to forget that. The AFC North is no joke when it comes to defense now, other than the Steelers. They suck. But, I think that's either Cleveland or Baltimore's division to win because I like Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. A lot of people don't because he can't really throw the ball. But I think if he works on his time a little bit better and he strengthens his arm, I think Lamar Jackson's going to be a really good quarterback. Mm-hmm. I really do. I know you probably don't view it the same way, but
to be honest, everybody was so high on Lamar Jackson, but I mean, it is what it is. I think the league's going to figure him out in 2 years. In my honest opinion about Lamar, can he improve as a quarterback? Yeah, but he just relies on his feet too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's a run-first guy.
And it's almost like how Cam Newton was when he first entered the league. How
Right.
Cam Newton was more of a scrambler than a pocket passer, and it took him years to figure out how to be a pocket passer. And now look at him now. I mean, he's only had what, I guess, in my opinion, he only had that one great year when they went 15-1 and lost in the Super Bowl to Denver, and ever since that, it started declining.
Right. And they said over here on Facebook, Brian Natari said, can't disagree more on the Ravens. I think you said Ravens. Can't
Yeah.
disagree more on the Ravens. Defense got obliterated in free agency.
Yeah, I understand that, but I mean, you lost. I get it that you lost C.J. Mosley, great linebacker, right, and Terrell Suggs as well. But I mean, this draft is so defensive loaded. Yeah. You can replace those players. Right. And here's the thing: you took a 35, 36-year-old Eric Weddle, let him walk, and you replaced him with Earl Thomas, which is one of the best safeties in the league. Even before he was injured, he was one of the best safeties. He was going to get his money anyway. You know, the Seattle should have paid him and kept him because now they're going to be missing out. So you replaced Eric Weddle with Earl Thomas. You can get the linebackers in the draft. It's a defensive loaded draft anyway. And then with your running back core, you got Mark Ingram, and you can lean on Mark Ingram for the whole entire game.
Yeah, but can you lean on him?
I absolutely you can.
See, with Mark Ingram, everyone wants to say he's a feature back. He's a running back by committee. You know, you saw that in New Orleans. You know, Alvin Kamara was obviously the feature back down there. He could do everything. Mark Ingram he got a lot of pressure taken off of him because of Kamara. Now, the Ravens have Mark Ingram as their feature back, and that could be either a hit or miss. I don't see him getting over 1,000 yards. I don't by himself. You know, he's always been, to me, a B-type running back. He's never been that A-type running back. You know, and he looked flashy down in New Orleans because of Kamara, because of Drew Brees, and because of Michael Thomas. But he is definitely not a feature back, and that could come back to bite him. We'll see, though. Ricky Galone on Facebook says, Lamar is the new RG3. He'll be a splash in the pan. This is where you're wrong, Ricky, and I'll explain this. Lamar Jackson didn't have that star value that RG3 had in his rookie year. RG3, in my opinion, I was watching RG3 play in his rookie year. I thought he was going to be the best quarterback in football.
RG3?
Yeah, I thought he was going to be the best quarterback in football in the next 2 to 3 years. The guy was unstoppable.
If he never had that knee injury, he probably could have.
Yeah.
It's just that once you have that knee injury in any sport, and with planting and the whole agility and switching one way going to another, it sits in the back of your mind, man.
And everyone figured out his option too. You know, and it's tough to play quarterback when you get injured and have that extent of a knee injury.
Yeah.
And then everyone figures out what you're doing. It makes it 2 times worse. And it sucks because RG3 was a very hot commodity coming into the league. Like, he really was.
And here's the difference. And everybody's comparing, and this is crazy. And I've been watching, you know, all on FS1, like Undisputed with Shannon and Skip, and then Colin Coward. And some of them are even comparing Kyler Murray to Russell Wilson. Yeah. And it's like, what are you doing? There are 2 different quarterbacks. One Kyler Murray, in general, relies on the scrambling standpoint, and Russ is a pocket passer before scrambling. Yeah. That's even though Russ can scramble, right? He can get out of the pocket and move. He relies on the pocket passing before anything.
Yeah. The thing about Kyler Murray is he also plays in the Big 12.
And it's terrible defense.
Yeah, horrible
terrible
defenses.
And
you know, Russell Wilson played in the Big 10, Wisconsin. Yeah. So. You know, Russell Wilson, to me, he was a project too, but he got picked in the 3rd round. You know, you're talking about the number 1 pick overall with Kyler Murray. Now, do I think Kyler Murray's going to be good? I think he's going to be good. A lot of people think he's going to suck. I think he's going to be good, but is he worth the 1st round pick, 1st pick overall? Nah.
Yeah, see, and that's where I'm tired. It's like, listen, and you know, Josh, and if I'm Josh Rosen, and I'm sitting there in Arizona, and I'm like, if you knew this was going to happen. Why did you select me last year at 13?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and this is the response.
I would feel some type of way if I'm Josh Rosen.
Yeah, but
right
listen,
now.
This is the response they're going to say to him, all right? They're going to be like, we selected you at 13 because you had potential coming out of UCLA. You looked decent there second half of the year. Not so much. But they selected him at 13. They were like, we want to select you as our franchise quarterback. Granted, they had Sam Bradford last year. Whatever.
Yeah.
But they had Sam Bradford last year. They brought in Josh Rosen. They're like, we want you to be our franchise quarterback. They saw that he couldn't get the job done, and they said it looks like he has no hope at all. So they're like, why not just draft a guy that this new head coach that you hired loves so much? He could implement him in that offense. You have Larry Fitzgerald still there. You could add another wide receiver. You could add another running back. You have David Johnson still.
Yeah.
And Kyler Murray brings that mobility that Josh Rosen doesn't have. So, yeah, they're going to tell him straight up, listen, you're garbage. Get the hell out of here. So, I don't think you're going to say
just
it
hit
like
him with
that.
the truth. Just hit him. Hey, Josh, just sit Josh down. Hey, Josh, you fucking stink.
You suck.
You stink, dude.
You have no hope.
Yeah, but I mean, but the whole thing is that if I'm Josh Rosen, I completely feel some type of way just because, it's like if you knew this was going to happen, man, why did you take me at 13? I should just be off to another team. And that's why I bring the Giants into play or the New England Patriots into play as well.
Yeah.
With the whole, trading for a quarterback and grooming somebody for Tom Brady. And, you never know when Tom Brady turns 55 and he's still playing and winning rings still. Josh Rosen can get a shot. So,
Yeah, Josh Rosen's terrible, dude.
oh, dude, he's so bad. He's so
horrible.
bad. I had him. Everybody piped this dude up because he was from UCLA. And listen, bro,
It's the back.
you play in the Pac-12, bro.
Yeah.
The only
There's
team
no
that was
defense.
good there was no defense, and the team that was there really any good teams while you were there in the Pac-12? I mean, Cal sucked.
Oregon maybe.
Stanford was all right. Oregon had some couple down years when you were there, and it was basically you at UCLA and Sam Dorn at USC, and both of you almost didn't even win 10 games.
Yeah, exactly. Stanford's the one team where I'll say they played gritty ball. And they were more defensively than the other teams, and that's why they were ranked every single year. But other than that, the Pac-12 absolutely stinks when it comes to defense. You're always running up the score. The over-unders are always like 80-something. It's just – I don't know. And obviously, Ralphie chimes in. He's like, Kyler Murray will fail, too small.
He's too small, man.
Yeah, he's 5'8", and it's the thing is everyone wants to bash the guy. I'm not gonna bash him just yet.
I am.
Are you?
I am.
Yeah.
Already. Because listen, They made it to the playoffs this year, correct? And they played,
Alabama.
They played Alabama, and they got smoked.
Yeah.
They got smoked. He actually played a top 5 defense in the country and got walloped.
Yeah.
Okay? And the thing is that it's so easy with these small quarterbacks to figure them out because here's the thing. Just all you got to do is just send pressure up the middle, and then how are you going to handle that pressure up the middle?
Exactly.
Just clog the middle and make them go to the outsides.
Yep.
And you saw that. Second half of the year when the league finally noticed with Baker. You start bringing pressure up the middle for Baker, and he starts to panic because he can't see over these 6'6" guys that are coming at him at 10 miles per hour. It's
basically
just
like a guessing game.
Yeah,
where
it
you're
is.
throwing
It is.
Yeah.
And the also thing about Kyler is just that the whole weight situation of him going from 190 to 206, and then some of these scouts are saying that it doesn't look like it's real. It's not muscle. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do I take him first overall, though? I absolutely do not.
No.
I absolutely do not. And
He's
I think
gonna
the
go
person
first,
that Arizona needs to look in the mirror, and they need to skip on him. They probably won't, but Nick Bosa should be going number 1 overall.
He's a beast.
Nick Bosa is flat out amazing, bro.
Yeah, he's very good.
Amazing. I would love to have Nick Bosa on the Eagles team.
Yep.
Trade Nelson. Trade Carson. No, don't trade Carson. But you would like that for Nick Bosa. But.
Not anymore. I mean, we do need a quarterback now because they left. They had our Super Bowl MVP go. We need a quarterback, and Carson's at least decent. So I mean, I can't. Like everyone thinks I hate Carson Wentz. No, I just like Nick Foles more. It has to be understandable. The guy won us a Super Bowl.
Well, we'll see what happens because I've been beating the dead horse to everybody that's been talking Nick Foles. Nick Foles hasn't had success outside of Philadelphia.
He just signed a big contract too.
Yeah.
Worth every penny.
It's supposed to be up to $102 million. So
yeah, I mean, if they have a good offensive line, he's going to succeed out there. He really is. That's one thing I'll admit as a big Nick Foles fan. If you have a quality offensive line, he's going to kill it. He really is. And I wish him nothing but the best. I really do. It's sad. It's really sad when the guy that won you the Super Bowl is not on your team anymore. And everyone likes to laugh at me about it. But, I've dealt with the worst years as a Philadelphia Eagles fan. And that one moment that we won the Super Bowl, I couldn't have been happier. It was a blessing. It was a shame that Carson Wentz did get injured and he didn't get to do it. But that's life. It happens, and Nick Foles will always have that statue, and he'll always be that guy that did it. So, whatever. And hopefully Carson Wentz wins many more.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Hopefully. Bryce Blackwell on YouTube says that Kyler Murray is 5'10", 210 pounds.
5'10".
So from not his senior year, but from his college, at the end of the college, he was what, 190, 195, and now he's 210.
Yeah.
And he didn't run it. He didn't run at freaking pro day, and he didn't run at the combine. And that's your number one thing is running.
Right.
So something's flawed there, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Maybe because he knows he's going to get picked number 1, he doesn't want to show any weaknesses.
Well, if he knows that, then I understand that. But here's the thing, and here's my little other conspiracy theory about Kyler Murray, is that he put this weight on, and he doesn't want to run because if he runs, he knows that it's going to be a slower 40 time. Yeah, it's going to be a slower 40 time, and it just the draft stock continues to go down because now it's like, oh, this dude's 210 pounds. He ran, he could be running a 4.3, 4.4. He's only 5'10". He's 210 pounds. It starts to put a little doubt in your mind, and then the draft stock starts, to crumble. But other than that, I don't know what Arizona's going to do, but it's up to them. And, I'm an Eagles fan, so you do what you got to do, Arizona. If that's taking Kyler Murray at 1, do what you got to do for your organization.
Now, there's one thing that I wouldn't do as an Eagles fan. I wouldn't want the Eagles to draft. There's one person that I would not want them to draft at 25. Or was it 24?
25.
25. Josh Jacobs, do not draft him. I don't care what anybody says. Alabama running backs never pan out. Ever. I don't care if you could say Mark Ingram. Trent Richardson was terrible. Mark Ingram he's okay.
Yeah, and that's what I said on Wednesday about these Alabama running backs is that, if you really want to look back, the only real running back that really panned out from Alabama, in my recent memory, is Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
Right? Mark Ingram from the get-go with the Saints, from the jump with the Saints, he was all that. He was the running back at Alabama. Then you want to talk about Derrick Henry. His first 2 years.
He's good.
His first 2 years, though, where he was up and down. He wasn't steady. And then about Trent Richardson. Trent Richardson's in the AFF for the reason, right?
Yeah.
So it just I never did like Alabama running backs, but I love Alabama offensive linemen though. Yeah. If he was an offensive lineman, I'll take him. But a running back, I'm a little iffy on that.
And up against the best competition, he stunk. They went against Clemson. Clemson's defense just shut him down completely. Mm-hmm. I think he had 40 yards. Something
like I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it wasn't good. And Alabama as a whole looked terrible against that team. And you have to evaluate Alabama prospects because every single year they play as a team. You can't really just isolate one player and say, that's my guy.
Yeah.
You can't do it because they play as a team every year. It's hard to tell. Mm-hmm. Now like Trevor Lawrence, you can tell that guy's very good.
If the NFL, honestly, if the NFL did what the NBA does and have a one and done, Trevor Lawrence is going number 1.
Yep.
Easily going number 1.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And nobody would ever trade that number 1 pick.
He'd go -1.
Honestly, yeah. Arizona would never trade out of the number 1 spot, and if they did, they would be silly.
Yeah.
If Trevor Lawrence was in this draft. Because Trevor Lawrence has it all, and you saw it in the national championship game. He took on the number 1 ranked defense in the country and just destroyed them.
Yeah, exactly. And, Bryce Blackwell said, I got us taking a defensive tackle or defensive end.
At 25?
At 25. Unfortunately, Bryce, I can see that. And the reason why I'm saying unfortunately is because we draft defensive linemen every fucking year, dating back to 2001. We love defensive linemen. I understand you have to get after the quarterback, but it's can you address the linebacking position?
Yeah.
We don't have linebackers. We have Nigel Bradman, and that's it.
And that's it. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
It's just going to be and the thing is that I would love, to me, we didn't really do anything, really, I guess, and I got a little criticized for it, and, you could say what you want about me, ain't going to hurt my feelings, right? So, to me, I really don't think we really did anything in free agency that really, improved this team. Granted, we restructured some contracts to open up some money. But what did you do that with money? Le'Veon goes to the Jets. Tevin Coleman goes to the 49ers.
Yeah.
And now you're stuck at the running back position, right? And then you also look on the defensive side of the ball. Jordan Hicks goes to the Cardinals, and And now you're thin at linebacker as well. You're bringing a dude on Ronald Darby coming off an ACL injury.
He's whatever.
He coming back on a 1-year deal. I mean, it is what it is. But and then you bring back Jason Peters on a 1-year deal, 37 years old, about to be 38. He can't play more than 5 snaps in a row.
Yep.
It's just I get it. I get it that they restructured these deals and brought these guys back and they brought Desean back, and Malik Jackson was like the only big one that they really brought in for the defensive line. But it's just like, do you really, if you are looking at Josh Jacobs and at 25, do you love him? And that's the question.
No.
Do you really love Josh Jacobs at 25?
I hate him. I don't think he's going to be good in the NFL. I look at it. I look at his talent, and I see what he possesses, and I just see a guy that's just college material and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's a Bama player." I'm like, who cares? Like Bama players, like I said, they play as a team. They're one of the best teams every single year, if not the best team every single year.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper came from Alabama. He's a stud wide receiver, and the Cowboys have a stud. They have no quarterback, but they have a stud wide receiver. But they're like literally 1 in a million. Like not 1 in a million. I'd say 1 in 10. Alabama, it's just the prospects from Alabama. You have to like take a good look at and be like, can they do it on their own, or are they just like part of a team and they fit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Alabama players are tricky. I don't like Josh Jacobs at all, but that's my opinion. I can't really say anything else because everyone else has an opinion.
Yeah.
Bryce Blackwell said Hicks can't stay healthy. He can't. I really like Jordan Hicks. I liked his talent.
That's the only thing though. That's the only thing that I think. If Jordan Hicks was healthy for his career and only missed like 2 to 3 games here and there in his time that was here, he's definitely still in this football team. That was the only problem with Jordan Hicks. I would have given Jordan Hicks a 1-year deal, a prove-it deal, to say, hey, prove to me you can stay healthy for more than 13 games this year.
Yeah.
If you can stay healthy for more than 13 games, I will give you as much money as you want next year. Mm-hmm. And maybe Jordan said to himself, I can't do it. I'll just go to Arizona, who's already offering me all this money, and it is what it is. But yeah, it just sucks that we lost Jordan. He's a great linebacker when he is healthy, and now that we're very thin at linebacker. And the cornerback position, we already have 15 of them, so we're good to go. The defensive line is back to what it was. It's just the offensive side of the ball now with the whole running back situation.
And Foolish Demon just asked a good question on no, he just made a good statement on YouTube. He said Jacobs is the best all-around back in the draft. Yeah, how do you value that, though? He's projected to slide all the way to the late first round. And if you're the best overall running back in the draft, you're going top 10. So how much does that say about the running back? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could grab him late round. It's no one cares about him because they understand where I'm coming from. He's an Alabama back, and they never pan out. And they saw that he sucked an absolute critical juncture in a national championship game and the college football playoffs. So can he turn out in the NFL? Sure. I don't see it. I don't see anything special with the guy. I really don't. So you could say he's the best all-around back in the draft. I highly disagree with that. I personally think Benny Snell is, and I think we could get Benny Snell in the 3rd round because I think a lot of people are saying what Ralphie and I aren't seeing. A guy that was in Kentucky. Kentucky's not really a football program, and they saw that he stood out because they were a good team finally at Kentucky. And I think a lot of people are seeing that, the guy is a superstar on a weak football team. So, I mean, to me, Benny Snell is the perfect fit here. I like him, and that's who I'm picking. So, there you go.
Yeah, and the only thing is that right now they got Benny Snell in the 4th round, and I think it is reasonable. So the only thing is that, dude, I love Benny Snell, man. I'm a
He's
Benny
amazing.
Snell guy, and the other guy that I would take if Benny Snell is not there when we select in the 3rd, 2nd, 4th round is Miles Sanders from Penn State. There's another running back that I would love to have on this football team. I think Miles Sanders is also a good running back, but right now I would have Benny Snell and then Miles Sanders, in my honest opinion, on my running back board.
Foolish Demon. I'm not looking to line Benny Snell out wide. That's not what I'm doing. He's a running back. I'm going to use him as a running back. All right. He's a downhill runner. Sure, he's a one-trick pony. He's like a Brandon Jacobs type running back. That's who I want. I want someone that will smack you in the mouth going down the field. I don't want someone that flashes on a dime like LaShawn McCoy did. Like, to me, I loved LaShawn McCoy, but he ran backwards a lot. And that's not someone I want. I want someone that runs downfield, gets yards, and gets the fuck out of there. Rotation. That's who I want.
But here's the thing, no, too foolish. You also got to think about this, is that Benny Snell is a north and south runner, but you also have another running back that can pass catch out of the backfield, and that's J.J. and or Corey Clement.
Yeah,
it depends on where you want to go with J.J. because that dude has basically no more knees anymore. I mean, I don't even think there's bone. I think it's just bone on bone right now. There's no muscles in there. But yeah, I mean, Benny Snell is a north and south runner. He's a power guy, which we missed last year, big time missed. The guy that can close out games. And I fucking harped on it all year long, and people laughed at me. Listen. You were up 17 against Carolina. You could use LeGarrette Blount there to close out games. And who fumbles at the 50? Yeah. Oh, Josh Adam fumbles on the 50, and we lose the game because of that. It was a momentum swing. Mm-hmm. The same thing with the Tennessee game. You're up by 17. Up by 17. 2 minutes left to go in the third. And you could just give the ball to LeGarrette and just clock and just chop away some time.
Right.
You didn't have a closer like that at all. Yeah. And it's just... Benny Snell is a north and south runner, but you also have another back in Corey Clement. And if you want to bring Darren Sproles back, then you bring him back. Am I for bringing back Darren Sproles? I guess I am. If you have to bring him back to fill a role, then you bring him back.
I like that 1-2 tandem of Ajayi because Ajayi is the east to west runner, and then when he gets a couple yards, you could bring that guy that could smack you in the mouth going down the field, and you don't know which way they're gonna go because you're like, oh shit, what are we doing now?
Yeah.
I like that tandem. I think it could be deadly. Like I really do, and a lot of people don't like downhill runners. We had it with DeMarco Murray, but granted, he wasn't used right. Chip would run him with a jet sweep. He's not a guy that goes east west.
Yeah, he's a north south runner. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a guy that you put your quarterback underneath center, and and he's north to south. DeMarco, even at Oklahoma, rarely did they put him in a shotgun situation with Sam Bradford and run the ball out of the shotgun. And you saw it with Dallas when they had him. Romo was under center most of the times when Murray was there, and then Murray comes to the Eagles and Chip just does what Chip does and doesn't listen to anybody and uses them on jet sweeps and outside runs. It's like Chip, he's not that type of guy. He's not an west to east guy or east to west guy. He's a north to south guy.
That's something my friend brought up the other day. He said that Chip could have won with his guys. He never had his guys. And I kind of agree with that. He wanted the perfect – that's why he got rid of Nick Foles. Because he didn't want a guy that just sits there as a statue in the pocket. He wanted his guy that had mobility. He actually did want Mariota. I heard from my friend who works with the Philadelphia Eagles, they were going to get Mariota, but they were going to have to sell the farm.
Yeah.
And it was just way too much. Granted, it worked out for us because we didn't get Mariota, and he's like average. We have Carson Wentz now. We had Nick Foles, but he's gone. And, we have Carson Wentz now. Hopefully that works out. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I'm going to answer Foolish Demon over here on YouTube because he's saying a lot of stuff. So he said, you haven't seen Jacobs absolutely spin guys after he trucks them. It's a new league. Best backs are good in the pass game. Simple. Running backs are outdated. Listen, Foolish, you have to look at this guy and be like, is this the guy? You can't look at Alabama and say, oh, they have a bunch of stars. They play with they play together. You have to look at this individual guy and say, is he talented enough to be our franchise running back? And I do not see it. Now, you could say that, he is talented because he played with a good team. That's fine, but I'm not going to value this guy as a guy that can take the reins after LaShawn McCoy, Brian Westbrook, all of these guys in our franchise's history. You can't put him against these guys and be like, can this guy carry us to 1,000 rushing yards a year?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not take Jacobs at 25. I just wouldn't do it, But Cases Cliff on YouTube says Jacobs is nothing like Sproles, not at all. And they're talking about TTP, and TTP said, "What's up?" And what's What's up, TTP? And we're gonna get on Sixers after the break, so you might want to tune in on that one.
And then TTP also says, do you guys think Benny has star potential?
Yes, absolutely. I watched film on him. Like I was just saying, Kentucky is not a football program; they're more of a basketball program.
Bro, and he's going up against SEC defenses,
Yes,
bro.
tough.
At Kentucky.
Yep.
And demolishing them.
Yeah.
Right? It's just I love Benny Snell. Even 2 to 3 years ago, I had my eye on him, and then in this bowl game against Penn State, ran absolutely all over Penn State.
Yep.
In the bowl game. It is what it is. But if the Eagles want to select Josh Jacobs, and if they think that it's the right move for them, then do it. But here's the question: like I said to you before, are you in love with Josh Jacobs? And that's what you got. That's what you got to say to yourself at 25.
Yeah, hell no. And he said, Foolish Demon also said McCoy and Westbrook caught passes out of the backfield. Yeah, and you're talking about our best running backs in franchise history. You're going to put Josh Jacobs up against them? No, I'm not. I don't see anything that Josh Jacobs brings to the franchise to make us a great team. I don't do it. I'm sorry. It's a different opinion. Understand that, and you have your, but I just don't see that.
Yeah.
Sorry. But
Bryce also says, would you take Snell at 25 or is it too high?
Too high. You have to wait. You have to wait for like the late second, third round because no one's gonna pick him in the second or first round. So
yeah,
we'll have value there. I think at 25 you have to pick a linebacker or hell. Are there any good receivers in this draft?
The
Hollywood.
one receiver is Hollywood Brown from oh my God, where did he play? Oklahoma.
Yep.
And then the one guy that I liked is N'Keal Harry from Arizona State.
Yeah,
he's almost like another Alshon that can go up and get the 50-50 balls as well. But to be honest, I don't think the Eagles go defense in the first round.
Yeah,
I think the Eagles shy away from defense in the first round and they go at least offensive tackle, or not they don't shy away from defense. They shy away from the defensive line because you already have your defensive line in there up front already. It's just you gotta get depth guys, and you're not gonna draft somebody at 25 to be a depth guy that just doesn't make any sense.
Right, yeah.
In the first round.
Yeah. And TTP just said, where are our picks? We have a 25th. I think we have an early second.
It's 25th, and then I think we have a 53 and a 57 in the second round.
Well, yeah, I think we have an early second from Baltimore.
Yeah, I think it's the 53.
Yeah, 53.
Let me see.
Okay. So that's not really early. That's like that's like middle of the pack.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot to do in the draft, but yeah, we're done with free agency. We're literally done. They said they were trying to make a trade with San Fran for, I think, a defensive player, but I think we're done. I think we.
So the Eagles have the 25th pick in the first round, 53 and 57 in the second. We have no third-round picks.
Yikes.
2 fourths, a fifth, and a sixth. And we don't have a seventh.
Interesting.
We don't have a third.
Not having a third's not good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have the. Well, I think a third comes into play with Golden Tate because he walked.
Yeah.
So we get a third-round pick with Golden Tate, I think, coming back, which is a comp pick. So
we have to make sure of that though, because if we don't have a third-round pick, we may have to take Benny Snell 57. We might have to go up that early, because if we don't have he's not going to last at the fourth round. There's no way. Someone's going to take him. Someone's going to see what we're seeing. And he could even go earlier. I'm not saying he's not. I just value him at a third-round pick because, we do have other needs. And I feel if you could get someone with that value later on, definitely take him. But if someone else is planning on taking him, you got to get in there and just scoop him up. Because if that's your guy, you gotta treat him like your guy. So, is there anyone you see us moving up for in the first round? No, I don't. I think we just stay put. It's not that type of a draft where you see a gaping hole and you need to replace it with someone. It's just not. It's not that valuable. And we're lucky because we've been really consistently good. Like for the last 2 years, it's not really consistent. It's like back-to-back years being good. But we're just lucky that it's not that great of a draft. So we have a lot of value picks. No, and the Foolish Demon said no. Comp picks are for the year after.
So
it's not
2020.
this year, so we have no third round pick.
Yes, we don't have a third round pick.
Lindell Cunningham says we need to take Nasser Adderley in the first,
which is a safety from Delaware. And I'll pass on that.
Yikes.
I'll pass on that.
What do you see in him, Cunningham? I want to hear your take on that because I hear Delaware and I'm like, what? Foolish Demon says comp picks are for next season. Yep. We get a third and a fourth comp pick from Foles, Tate, and Hicks. Lindell coming in said Bush or White won't fall to us, so we'll probably won't target a linebacker. Yeah, I mean, we never really target linebackers anyway. You know, that's the Philadelphia Eagles model. We just don't.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the last time. I mean, outside of Jordan Hicks, we really
Stuart Bradley?
drafted. Yeah, we really drafted a linebacker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I loved Stuart Bradley before he got injured. He was a stud, and then after that, we never really had a great linebacker.
Yeah.
Like we just never get linebackers. I don't know what it is. I think we just like defensive linemen.
Yeah. It seems like Howie just loves the defensive line.
Yeah, I don't know, but and he said we got comps from last season's losses. Oh my God, what is it? What does that mean?
I'm not sure either. Foolish, if you can tell us what the comp picks are for this season, because I think it was something. I'm pretty sure we do get comp picks this year. I didn't know.
We gotta look.
Yeah.
Foolish Demon also said I like Juan. I think it's Juan Thornhill out of Virginia. I don't know who that is. I have to look him up. What is he, a safety? Linebacker?
I'll have to see that real quick.
Juan Thornhill. Okay. I've never heard of that name. Why is it not ringing a bell? No idea. Yeah.
He's a safety from Virginia.
He's a safety.
Yep.
I mean, we have Malcolm Jenkins. Would you want to add another one?
And here's the thing, though, as well, with the whole safety, you have Rodney McLeod coming back, but he's coming off injury. So what I would do is I would put Russell Douglas as a safety.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my honest opinion, I think he is a safety. I really do. I think he's almost like what Malcolm Jenkins was when he came out of college.
Right.
Malcolm Jenkins was a corner all of his years at Ohio State, but came into the league, he couldn't cover it. He didn't adjust to the corner position. They stuck him at safety, and look at him now. He was an all-pro safety. So I think we can do that as well with Rasul Douglas and stick him at safety, and and see what works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I think we're gonna do actually, guys. Now that I think about it, I think we're gonna trade out of the first round. I don't think we're gonna pick at 25. I think we're gonna get more value picks because there's no one in this draft that I zone in on in the first round saying, "Oh, I just want that guy."
Yeah.
I think we're gonna move out. I think we're gonna let someone trade up with us, and we're gonna get another second round pick.
Now here's a question for, the YouTube chat, Facebook chat, and even for you.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the Eagles picked up the contract for Nelson, the $9 million, does he still get moved on draft night?
No. I think he stays here. He's played his part. He's stunk in the first couple years. Actually, no, just his first year. I don't see us moving Nelson Aguilar. We need to value our wide receiver position, and I don't see anyone right now that we could get for a good return on Nelson Aguilar. We'd have to bring in another wide receiver, and I just don't see another team trading with us unless we trade Nelson Aguilar to Arizona for a pick and Larry Fitzgerald, and then bring him in.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be cool. Larry Fitzgerald on one side, Alshon Jeffrey on the other side. I'd be for that. That'd be pretty cool. Lindell Cunningham says, "Am I crazy for thinking Jordan? I can't say his name.
Malata.
Whatever. Is our future at left tackle? No, he sucks. He's a pure depth guy. I mean, he doesn't.
Yeah, we'll
suck.
see what happens with him, man.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Everybody's putting their eggs in one basket for that dude. But we'll see what happens.
Jordan Mailata.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's a character, but at the same time he was a rugby player, and I just don't I don't know. There's nothing with him that really sticks out and says that's our guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't, especially when you're trying to replace him with Peters, and I think I still like Big V. A lot of people don't like him. I think he played very well last year in the Super Bowl year. So I don't know.
Well, and I think I think that Big V also, does well when he's not when he doesn't have anybody look, behind him.
Yeah.
When he's not looking over his shoulder saying, well, there's no point in me trying this hard because Peters is just going to come right back in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you give Big V, the opportunity and and that's the thing that I don't understand why we brought Jason Peters back, but it is what it is.
No, yeah, and Lindell said something before we go to break. He said, he showed promise in the preseason. You can't judge things off the preseason ever,
Yeah.
and you can never ever judge off preseason. That being said, we will be back in 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops. We'll be talking about the Sixers Flyers playoff runs and probably more Eagles. So come on back after the break.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the second half edition of the Hooligans, live from St. Patty's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Hooligans, St. Patty's Day weekend.
Yeah.
It's brought to you by Skazana Sports Center, 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 856-889-3434, SkazanaSports.com. Real Talk Studios. Like I said, St. Patty's Day weekend for the third time. I'm Irish. Deal with it. All right. With that being said, we got to talk the Sixers first, and then the Flyers. We're going to talk the Sixers first, though, because there's a lot to talk about. What do you think?
Well, as we know, a couple of us went to the game last night against the Kings. I saw what I had to see, and Ben Simmons is not that great of a player. Ben Simmons stinks. Joel Embiid stinks. The whole entire team stinks, and you guys will not be beating Boston anytime soon. So that goes out the window. So have a nice short postseason as well, Kyle.
Yeah.
And you guys better hope that you guys get the number 3 seed. Because you guys stink.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I mean, but you didn't have to go that hard on Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Come on, man.
I'm only playing.
No, I listen. I know he's joking, but I'm gonna be honest with you right here, right now. Okay, so I bet on the game last night. I didn't go because I don't know. I don't really go to games against Sacramento, but they had a fun time there last night, and I hope they had a good time. But I bet on the game last night. I took the over 231.5 because I knew it was gonna fly over because both teams stink defensively, and that leads me into my next point. All right, I told Tom, listen, I'm taking this. You gotta take it too. When it hit, I was like Yahtzee, and we won.
Yeah.
We got out of there. The Sixers aren't going anywhere this year, guys, and it sucks that I have to say this because I am a big Sixers fan, but knowing that they don't have any defense is a big problem, and maybe they do need a coaching change. Who knows? I mean, I like Brett Brown personally, but if your players aren't playing hard for you, it's kind of hard to stay in Philadelphia as a head coach. It just is. And I personally think we're going to get bounced in round 1 or round 2. It doesn't matter where we are. I think Brooklyn can beat us. Like, I think Brooklyn
Really?
I think Brooklyn has that gritty team, that gritty style. And D'Angelo Russell is playing like an absolute stud.
Yeah, he is. He's dropping 35 a game, it seems like. And the only thing that will give you guys hope is that you guys just need to stay in that 3 seed, man. You guys don't – I mean – We'll see what happens because tomorrow you guys play Milwaukee in Milwaukee. We'll see what happens there, and everybody will be healthy for the Sixers. So if you guys loses, there's going to be no excuses. Yeah. You had a full team, a full healthy team that's going to Milwaukee, and then you have the game against Charlotte, and then you come back home against Boston. So in those 2 to 3 games, you're playing your playoff teams that you're going to be seeing in the playoffs. It's all up to you guys to see how well you guys do.
Well, I mean, the Milwaukee game's going to be tough. We're probably going to lose that one. We're going to beat Charlotte. We're not beating Boston. So we're going to go 1-2 in those games. This team is good, but they're not that team that you can put over the top just yet. You need to add some defensive studs, and we don't have any defensive
Well, your
guys,
perimeter defense is very bad, and that's what I took
horrible.
away from the game last night when we were all there, is that your perimeter defense is just not there, man. It's just not. And the thing is Jimmy kind of getting into his feels a little bit because, to me, in my honest opinion, Jimmy thought everything was on him. He could come in and be kind of like a co-leader to Joel, and he was taking the shots that he was taking before the Tobias Harris trade, right? And then you see him catching the ball in the block, which would have been an easy layup or an easy shot, and he passes it up. Could that be, type of feel like, I don't have to do that much anymore because I got, Tobias here and Joel and Ben. Well, Ben can't shoot, but you know what I mean.
I'm starting not to like the Tobias Harris pickup.
Really?
I'm not. I mean, Tobias Harris, he's a good shooter, but he's the kind of player that's like, you could do without him. Like, he doesn't really do anything for you on the defensive side of the ball. He's a guy, he's a guy that can score. Like, you need someone that's a game changer, like someone that gets in your face like Andre Iguodala did. I mean, granted, Andre Iguodala can't really shoot, but he's a great defensive player.
Yeah.
You need someone that really gets in your face, and these guys just aren't it. The only guy that can really defend is Joel Embiid. And it sucks. It just sucks seeing this, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I don't have any faith in the Sixers this year. I just don't. I mean, they could go to the second round maybe, but I'm not. Finals now.
But here's the thing, though. If you do get to the second round and you lose with all this talent on the court that you're putting in, does Brett Brown go?
Yeah.
And that's a question that Elton Brand's got to ask himself if that situation does come up. If he gets to the second round and he loses again to a Milwaukee or to a Toronto or Boston with all the talent on the court, does he go?
Yeah, I have a big prediction right here, right now. I think Brett Brown gets canned, and I think we bring in Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson is that guy that, he doesn't put up with anyone's bullshit. He's not really a player's coach. He's a guy that's strictly business. He was the Golden State Warriors head coach before Steve Kerr
took over.
And Mark Jackson wants to get back in the game, and I think he'd be a perfect fit here. I don't want Brett Brown to go, but I think he's going to get fired this year, and it sucks because we completely ruined his record. And but if there's no chemistry and you can't beat any of these teams that you're facing, there's just no point. You gotta change something up, And it sucks, like I said before. But what are you gonna do? Lindell Cunningham says Sixers are gonna be disappointed in the playoffs. I can just feel it. Yeah, they're going to be. They're not even gonna get to the Eastern Conference Finals. William Middlebrook says was just saying before the break, but I can see a trade Nelson for Fournette. I like it. I like that a lot, William. I really do. Nelson for Fournette straight up. They want to get rid of Fournette. They need to add some wide receiver help with Nick Foles, and Nick Foles has chemistry with Nelson Aguilar. That's very interesting. I like that a lot.
But here's the only thing though with Fournette is that he also has the suspension last year for getting in the fight against Buffalo.
Yeah.
And then him not staying healthy. And that's another key thing when you want to go and trade for a player is that you always want to look at his injury history for that's the first thing that you should do. Can this guy play more than 13 games? You know, because I mean, like what Chip said, and the only thing that Chip ever said was right is that the injury rate in the NFL is 100%. So I mean, and just like what Fuller said, Fournette is always hurting and he's lazy.
Well, I'll tell you this, Cunningham. Fournette does not suck. When he is healthy, he is an elite running back. He was so good in his first year in the league that they got to the AFC Championship probably with him. I'm not going to say alone, but he was a big part in it. And, he's an elite talent if he stays healthy and out of trouble. Would I take a shot on him here? We have a really strict front office. I would definitely take a shot on him here. I don't think he'd be lazy here. I think he'd be here to work, and I think he'd go back to his elite status as a running back here.
Yeah,
definitely. I would take it. I would definitely take a shot on that. And he just said, Foolish Demon just said Benny Snell's a discounted Fournette. I really like Benny Snell. I really do. But if we were to get a running back right here, right now that has been in the league, I would take a shot on Fournette. I would.
It'll be tough. It'll be tough for me to at least. To get Fournette. It's just that the injury bug, man. That's the only problem I have with him. He's a great running back when he's healthy, man. He hits the holes hard and he runs people over and he does what you're asking him for what he does. It's just that he just can't stay healthy. Yeah. That's it. That's mostly the only problem that I have with him. Yeah. Is that can you play more? It's almost like the Jason Peters factor. Like Jason Peters is a great left tackle. Love Jason Peters. It's just that, bro, dude, you got to play more than 5 snaps in a row, man. You just can't be taking yourself out of the lineup because you're pulling something and injuring your fucking arm and shit. It's just and now that's the only thing I have on Fournette is can you stay healthy?
I think he can. I really do. But there's another conspiracy theory out there. A lot of people think he's not his age. And this is one thing I'll say. I mean, I look at someone like this. A lot of people say he's in his 30s. And
oh, God.
A lot of people say that. And if you look at him and the fact that he's injured all the time and he's pulling stuff, you could make a case for it.
30 years old.
You could. I mean, I've seen people fake their documents all the time, so it's fair. I mean, it is. I mean, it doesn't look like he's in his 20s. That's for sure. But you never know about that one. And then Cunningham said we should trade for Barkley. That's never going to happen. The Giants, even if we wanted to trade for him, the Giants.
The Giants would never do that.
No, they wouldn't.
Now that would be stupid for the Giants to trade for trade Saquon Barkley.
I wanted Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
I did. I wanted to give up a ton of picks for him last year because I thought like we were building a dynasty and he would have added to it. But it sucks that he's so good, man. It sucks, and I hate Penn State. And he said, Foolish Demon says, I like Snell too, but he's not the best in the draft and not versatile enough. He's not. He's a downhill runner. That's what he is. But that's what we want. Someone that smacks you in the mouth. And, I'm gonna stick with that.
And if anybody knows, Benny Snell throughout his college career was never a guy that caught balls out of the backfield.
No.
Come on. I mean, at least have some sense in there. I mean, the dude's a north-south runner. Granted, now I know why you want Josh Jacobs, because now he can fill the hole of Darren Sproles where you can run the ball and catch the ball in the backfield. But if you take Benny Snell, then you can also just have Corey Clement do the same things he's been doing for the past 2 years now.
Yeah.
And then if you want to bring back Darren Sproles, and you bring back Darren Sproles.
Right.
It's not going to hurt you. Just, the thing is that I get that Josh Jacobs is flashy and he does a lot of things, but it's just I'm shying away from Josh Jacobs because he's an Alabama running back.
Yeah.
And that's the only point, because I can't tell you, I can't stress it enough, and it seems to be a trend, but what Alabama running back's been that great outside of Mark Ingram?
No.
I mean,
they haven't.
Can you name me one? That's the only thing.
Will, I knew it was coming up. I knew this comment was coming up. For the love of God, no. Okay? Duke Johnson stinks. He is not a good running back. I do not want him on this football team.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody's crowning this Duke Johnson dude like he's Barry
stinks.
Sanders.
He was on the Browns. He never really contributed when the Browns were bad. He was on a fucking 0-16 team. What is so fucking good about Duke Johnson?
Where he catches the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah. No to Duke Johnson. God, no.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yeah, I'll definitely. That's a hard pass for me on Duke Johnson. I mean, nothing. Was there for me to say, oh, you know what? I'll give up a fourth, and I'll give up a fourth for Duke Johnson.
Yeah.
Nothing's there for me. And listen, if we do get Duke Johnson, then we get Duke Johnson. We'll have to live with it. But listen, man, I'll pass on Duke. I'll pass on you, brother. Sorry.
Will Middlebrook says, I don't want him. Thank God. Whew. That was close there. I mean, listen, and then people are going to come with the comparisons. Well, Calvin Johnson was on the 0-16 team. Listen, Duke Johnson was a running back, and he couldn't do anything he wasn't even a flat. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Duke Johnson's not good. He was never good. He had one good DraftKings lineup day in ever.
Yeah.
He's just not. Pass.
I just don't know what everybody crowns this dude for. Like, explain to me what Duke Johnson. If somebody down in chat wants to explain to me what Duke Johnson does so well.
Who the fuck is this guy? Like, he's a nobody. Like, why do you want him? He was on like I said before, he was on the 1-15 and 0-16 Browns team. What the fuck is so good about this guy? Like, there's nothing good about this guy. Like, if you want to add a winner to this team, I understand that, but this guy's a loser. Like, you have to add talent and winning. And this guy is the complete opposite of that. So we're not going back to losing. We're not adding Duke Johnson. If we do, I will be ready to throw up.
Now I have a question for you, and I put it down in chat. What about Jordan Howard? How do you feel about Jordan Howard?
Nope.
I would love Jordan Howard.
Nope.
Love him.
Nope.
If the Bears want to move on from Tyreek Cohen, hey.
Tariq Cohen is my
Tariq
dude.
Cohen,
I love Tariq Cohen.
If you want to move on from Tariq Cohen,
yeah.
Hello. Hey, Chicago. How you doing?
Jordan. Thing about Jordan Howard was he was a very hot commodity like a couple years ago, but he went downhill, and they use Tariq Cohen a lot more now. And there's a reason for that is because Jordan Howard is washed. I'm not trading away any of our picks for Jordan Howard. I'm not doing it. You need to build through the draft at this point. You need to give up on free agency and say, listen, we're doing this our way. We're going to bring in our own pieces. We're going to do this our way. We're not going to bring in these other scrubs that this team doesn't want anymore for obvious reasons. And, you just, no Jordan Howard. Not happening. And Michael Cambria said Howard ain't that good. It's not that he's not good. It's just that he's getting older, and I'm not ready to add someone that's, like, in the twilight of their career and, like, on this team right now. I'm just not. I would bring back Garrett Blount. He's old as fuck, but that's because he's a winner and he does one thing, run downhill.
Yeah.
He is. You're right. Jordan Howard is a north to south runner, but he hasn't really. I don't know.
But here's the thing, though, about Jordan Howard is that if he is a north and south runner, it's just that you can get that in the draft. You know what I mean?
You
can get that in a Benny Snell. I'm gonna keep on beating the dead horse, but hey, listen, Benny Snell. If you want Benny Snell, go get him in the second or third round. He'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the fact. But we also let me put this in the question. Bring this up to you as well. We did this on Wednesday. As of right now, going into the season, fantasy-wise, dreams-wise, what would your dream scenario for running backs be going into next season?
Running backs?
Yeah.
Well, I want Le'Veon Bell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, a dream.
Well, as of right now, going into the season, who would your running backs be?
Ajayi and Benny
Snell. As draft as well.
As a draft?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd go Ajayi and Benny Snell.
As your 1 and 2 punch?
Yeah.
And then who would you keep Corey and bring back Darren, or would you keep Corey and let go of Darren? What would you do there?
I'd keep Corey and let go of Darren.
Would you?
Yeah. Corey did some good things in the Super Bowl. And, I know he didn't play well last year, but I'm willing to give him another shot.
Ajayi?
Corey Clement.
Oh, Corey.
Yeah, I'd bring back Corey. Lindell said, bring back Jay and draft Snell. Listen, I'm with you. Yeah, exactly. You want to keep Ajayi, in my opinion, because he's a Pro Bowler. He has some juice left. A lot of people like to say, oh, he's bad. He's got a bad name. Listen, if he goes down with an injury, all right, at least we'd have someone like Corey Clement. We'd have Josh Adams, I guess, and we'd have our guy in Benny Snell.
Yeah.
I honestly think Benny Snell has the potential to be a feature back. He is a north to south runner, and he hits hard. That's just someone that you want to just keep pounding the ball, and he's that guy. But yeah, you gotta. That's perfect for me.
So now here's the thing, though, as the running back. So now you'll have. So say you have, if you want to go with 4, so yours would be Ajayi, Snell, and then Clement,
mm-hmm.
and then who would your 4th be? Because you would only have to have 4 running backs. There's
Josh Adams.
no way you. Oh, so you will keep Josh Adams. Yeah. So then that means Sproles and Small would be off the team.
Yeah.
Okay. I really don't like Josh Adams. Like, I'm not in love with Josh Adams.
Yeah.
He is what he is. But I mean, there's a reason why Josh Adams was on the practice squad last year. Listen, if Darren Sproles don't get injured, he's not suiting up.
I think Josh Adams is decent. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's good. I think he is what he is. But the thing is we drafted this guy. We didn't draft this guy. He was undrafted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he is what he is. So the same thing with Corey Clement. He was undrafted. I think they're kind of like almost the same player, to be honest with you. Like, Josh Adams is huge. Like, he's like 6'4", right? He's a big guy. And, he had a couple break-off plays last year. Now, granted, he kind of disappeared when we needed him against the Giants. I understand that. But I'm willing to give him another shot.
Yeah.
I am. And a lot of people say, oh, he's not good, blah, blah. I'm like, listen, you have to – with Josh Adams, you have to give him the ball because he did decent last year for what he was. And Cunningham said he wanted Geis last year, the guy that tore his ACL.
The Redskins.
I didn't. I wanted Sony Michel. I wanted him badly. And the Pats obviously traded up to get him. Bastards.
Yeah, man. The Patriots, and that's what we were talking about in the first 10 minutes of the show was the whole Josh Rosen thing.
Mm-hmm.
If Arizona takes Kyler Murray, I wouldn't be surprised if New England calls up Arizona and says, "Hey, we'll give you a first and 2 seconds, or a second and a third for Josh Rosen if they want to go that route."
Yeah, Josh Rosen's terrible.
Yeah, he's really bad.
He's horrible. But yeah, with that being said, there are 5 minutes left on the show, so I'm just gonna talk about the Flyers for a little bit. The Philadelphia Flyers, they were the hottest team in the league other than Tampa Bay.
Back to square one.
Back to square one.
Back to square one. It's almost
night,
like the Eagles, man. The Eagles put that 3-week great football team on the field. They get your hopes up, and then it just starts to crumble, young man, crumble. It sucks, man, with the Flyers.
It stinks.
The Flyers were 5 points out. At one point, they were only 3. And it's just, oh, man, you had it. That game in Toronto last night.
5-2. 5-2, and they lose 7-6.
Yeah.
I understand
it's just
Toronto's
starting to slip away a little bit. Yeah.
just stinks. I was at the Washington Capitals game. They had no shot. And it was the same thing as the week before.
Yeah.
You know, they went into it and they scored right off the bat. They just can't beat these good teams. But maybe it is a blessing. Maybe we do need to get a draft pick. I don't know. Like, hopefully we win the draft lottery this year.
Yeah, that would be crazy,
Yeah.
huh? Get
Yeah.
Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes. Yeah. But then what are you doing with Giroux?
I guess you keep him because
Yeah.
freaking Chuck Fletcher said that, Giroux's not untouchable, which is kind of bullshit to me. But, he's a regular season player, and we beat the dead horse on this as well. We sat here for many a weeks. Hey, Giroux, when playoffs come, you really don't show up. You're a regular season player.
He's not showing up now either.
When postseason comes around, you kind of shy away from the spotlight.
He almost had that filthy goal against Washington, though.
Yeah, he
Did
did.
you see that?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I like Giroux, but I'm not in love with Giroux. Like, he's someone that I could trade away. I'd give him to a contender, just give him to a team like the Sharks or something like that. Someone that could use him, get him out of conference, and get some picks back.
Yeah.
Because, like, if we're not going to go anywhere with this team, like, what makes you think that we could just add a couple pieces and go somewhere, Carter Hart, obviously he was kind of a flash in the pan this year. He looked really good at the beginning and then kind of slumped off. I like Carter Hart. I really do. But you need to build around him.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
Really
That's your cornerstone right now.
Yeah.
It really is. And that's what you just, we've been asking for a goalie for, 15, 20 years now, it seems like. And now it's, it just got to the point now we finally found the goalie in Carter Hart. And now it's time to build around this young stud that we have. And, it just sucks, man, because we were 3 points out, and now what are we? And now what are we? Almost 10 right now.
7,
10, almost 10. Oh man,
stinks. Roskus said Hughes to Anaheim in the lottery. Listen, if you get him, you get him. But
Jack kid's a stud.
Yeah,
he's gonna.
What is he like, a Crosby?
Yeah, I wouldn't say. I would say that, but I think he's one of those kids where you can select him at 18 years old, and he doesn't have to play juniors to get ready. You put him in your lineup, and he's good to go. Okay. He's ready to play.
Like Nolan Patrick.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Cunningham said, Kyle, is Zomp coming back? It's my friend on Twitter. No. He's done. It's just he just says too much bullshit, and he always gets flagged, so he's not coming back. He's just one of those guys. But yeah, he's a good guy, but he's not coming back to Twitter. Yeah, I mean, I'm a diehard Philadelphia Flyers fan. On my YouTube channel, I make a weekend review for the Flyers every single week, and I'm not gonna be too happy this week, obviously, because it's a shame. You're 3 points out. You have to play against these teams that you literally have to beat. You're up 5-2 against the Toronto Maple Leafs in the third period, and you just let it go. And that's just, maybe it was a tease. I enjoyed it being a tease, but that's what it is every year with the Philadelphia Flyers. And the season ticket prices went up for a team that, we don't know what it is. So
it was for the Flyers as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. I'll never stop being a Philadelphia Flyers fan.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I watch the Flyers, and whenever they play, man, it's just that it just sucks, man, when the playoffs are right there and you're riding a great wave, and then you just had these 2 games, and they just come right back down to earth.
Yeah, it stinks.
Yeah.
This is what happens almost every year.
Mm-hmm.
You go into the playoffs, you're like, oh, we're riding high. Then you're about to get swept by Washington.
Yeah.
It just stinks. Cunningham says Flyers are the 4th wheel in Philly. Listen, I understand overall they're not the most popular team, but anyone with a brain that can understand hockey will like the Flyers more than a lot of teams in Philly. It's just you have to have a brain to understand hockey. You really do. And a lot of people, unfortunately, don't have a brain. So that's why they go with basketball or some easy sport, like football.
Yeah.
Because it's easy. Michael Cambria says, I know how you feel. I'm a Rangers fan. Yeah, they stink too. They're bad. Yeah, we're in the same boat. We were both in the Cup Finals, not consistently, but consecutively.
Well, yeah, I mean, you also had the Flyers where, I couldn't tell you the last time we missed the playoffs. Because the Flyers and the Rangers were always that good to where you didn't have to worry about missing the playoffs.
Well, when we had Briere, it was we were consistent.
Yeah.
Because Briere always he's stuck behind the goal.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, here, give me the puck. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. With that being said, I have to head back down to AC. I'm in a poker tournament this weekend.
Yeah, good luck on that.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
If you win, I just need, a couple thousand. That's all.
Well, it would get me into the World Series of Poker. So
there you go.
Yeah. So We'll see what happens.
Go win that shit.
I hope so, man. With that being said, I'm out of here. Ralphie on producer. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man.
And, yeah, we'll be back next week. It's good to be back. Happy St. Patty's Day, everyone out there. Go have fun. Don't have
safe.
too much fun. Be safe. And, yeah, out of here.
Yep.
Bye.